I'm Mike Wildenstein, and this is Maynard, a Friesian horse, and I'm going to show him a little respect by saying hello and getting to know him before I go to work. They're a very active breed. They have a lot of action. They're a very beautiful breed and often used for carriage work because they are so beautiful in movement, used by aristocrats and royalty to carry the knights, and just a wonderful carriage animal. They have a very strong foundation, a good solid hoof. They're often shod with a pretty heavy shoe so that it's not going to wear out quickly on the pavement or the roads. They're also commonly shod with a toe clip because their action is going forward. And again, they have a lot of action. There's a lot of movement in their limbs. And sometimes it becomes important to put a pad, that's a pad between the shoe and the hoof, to protect them from articles on the streets and to protect them from the concussion of their exaggerated action on hard ground. They tend to be a little base narrow, as all of our heavy horses do, and being base narrow, they wear the outside of the hoof more than the inside. So we may want to put a little more width of web laterally or towards the outside. Put a heavy shoe on so it doesn't wear out very quickly. It also exaggerates the action of this beautiful horse. Pull him forward. Good straight, long cannon bone, short pastern. A rather upright hoof gives him a great deal of action. Maynard has drill tech. Drill tech is tungsten carbide chips in a matrix of brass, and it's brazed onto the shoe. And these hard chips give the horse traction against the pavement, also prevent wear of the shoe. When I'm looking at his hoof and looking down the limb, and if you bisect that hoof equally in the middle, you'll notice that there's more towards the inside than there is towards the outside. He's very base narrow on this side, and if I follow my eye down that limb to the tarsus, look at how the cannon bone goes in. It brings this limb a little further in. So he's working the outside of that hoof more than he normally would because of the conformation of that limb. It also puts a lot of stresses on the hock here. You have compression of the joints, and you have elongation of the soft tissues over here. So they tend to have arthritic issues. And he's a 20-year-old horse, so you can expect that there are some arthritic issues going on. And the farrier will notice these the most. As the farrier goes to pick up the limb, the horse will be reluctant to take it back. And when we work on these horses, we want to make sure that they're fit full, like this horse is, on the outside. And it would also be a good idea to add some width of web there, just so it floats the outside or keeps that from sinking into the soil so far to take stresses off of this limb. Elongation on the outside, compression on the inside. A couple of good tips when you're working on these horses is, one, keep them very low. Don't lift that hock up too high. You can use a cradle that's very low to the ground to work on. Don't try to saddle them over your hip, but keep them low and work on them low. The horse is more comfortable. Another thing is, go slowly with your movements. When you go to pick up the horse's foot, let him know you're there. Pick it up slowly. He's going to give a little stretch right there. When he lets down, just like that, then I'm going to walk slowly back with the limb. And he's not comfortable. I can feel tension in his limb right now. I'm going to keep it right there. That's as high as I'm going with this limb because of the tension I'm feeling. If I had it on a cradle, it would be all that much better. It's so important to keep the horses comfortable. Another thing is, don't pull this limb out. Keep it in close. Because this horse has some arthritic changes, we want to keep it close. And when we let the limb down, we're going to palm that sole. I'm going to walk forward very slowly. I'm going to move slowly with him. There you go. He's going to relax right there, and then I'll set the foot down. All right. I'm also looking at the muscling in a horse. I notice that this side is not as full or as rounded as the other side, meaning he's dominant on this near or left hind. This right hind is atrophied just a little bit in my eye, meaning he's not been using it quite so much for an extended period of time. A horse that has a subtle lameness on one limb may be resistant to lifting up the other limb because it's painful to stand on that. I'm going to pick it up. I'm palming it. My fingers are just past the side of the toe, medial. I'm going to go slowly in natural range of motion. I'm going to feel what the horse is feeling. There's a lot of tension right there. Don't take it past this point. This is where I'm going to work on that foot on this horse. It would be advisable to use a cradle and keep this horse very low while working on them. When you're setting it down, palm the hoof. Walk slowly forward. Bring the limb straight forward. When you're up near the chest, then set the foot down.